Welcome back to the Barry Charles review and preview show. We're going to review round 8 and preview round 9 of the NRL footy. Yes, and what a round it was. From games from Anzac Day and the ripper early on between the Rabbitohs and the Panthers. We're going to talk about the big news, obviously, with Jack Wighton, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. But how about we start off first with some bloopers of the week? Yes, we had some absolute shell shockers on the weekend. And funny enough, Robert Jennings pulled off the biggest one of the weekend. Yes, indeed. He pulled up lame like a racehorse that was going to win and was pulled up by the jockey and decided to lay down and not get up to score the try, just like Garfield the cat, and wait for the opposition to tackle him. It was insanity, and I think his response was absolutely ridiculous. He felt that somebody was on him. I think the only person that was on him was Casper the Ghost, in my opinion. So he was worried about a double movement and just crazy stuff. And if you look at Nick Arima's reaction, it was absolutely priceless. He couldn't believe his eyes. I really think he was trying to cover up the embarrassment of what he had just done. And then just to top it off, a few minutes later, he absolutely dropped the ball over the line when he was trying to score. Luckily enough, he got 2 other tries in this game, but they could have cost the Titans the game. And the another one of the bloopers of the week, obviously, Renato Militano putting his hand on the sideline when he was about to score. But obviously, probably the biggest blooper of the week outside of Robert Jennings' try, the Titans up 26-0 and absolutely giving it up, losing 28-26 to the Dolphins. So, but yes, Jennings was a brain explosion. Is definitely the number one blooper of the week. Justin Holbrook, he looks like he wanted to head for the exit gates instead of the press conference. He was absolutely bamboozled by the performance in the second half. But before we talk a little bit more about what's happening in the footy, let's have a look at my tips of the week. Yes, indeed. I believe it should have been a clean sweep. Yes, indeed. Beaten by the Titans. I thought that was a brilliant pick at halftime. What happened there? They lost the plot. And Penrith up by 8 with 5 to go and they lose. I think I was hard done by in those 2 games, to be honest. But otherwise, the Broncos, Sharks, Cowboys, Manly, Roosters and Storm got it done for me. 6 out of 8. Beautiful. That's the closest I'll get out to 8 out of 8 this year, I think. But anyway, going to my game overall, 42.5 wins out of 64 games, giving me at a 66% ratio. I'm trying to get to 70% for the end of the season. We will see if I can reach that. That's my goal. Dalian points of the week. This was a high one. This was a tough one. This is really tough. I could have added so many players, but these are the 3 players that I decided to go for on this. Unlucky players, Scott Drinkwater and Valentine Holmes in the same game were outstanding. Isaiah Yeo was huge, so was Tato Moga. All had brilliant games. My 1 point in this game had to go to Latrell Mitchell, his 2 tries and his involvement at the end of the game for the Rabbitohs. He was absolutely on fire. Absolutely playing well against Penrith. My 2 points went to Nick Meaney. He played outstanding and he was the difference outside of Munster in the win against the Warriors. 200 run meters, 18 points, 2 tries. He was in everything. Nick Meaney, he had an absolute stormer of a game. And my 3 points, even though I was surprised that Katoa got the 6 points in the I saw in the Dally M points, but I already thought the best player on the field, the best player of the round for me was Jared Wallace. When he came on, it changed the momentum of this game, and he was an absolute outstanding 180 meters, a line break assist, 1 line break, and a try. He was on fire, Jared Wallace. Absolutely, for a prop to come up with those stats, to me, he deserves the player of the round. I give Jared Wallace the player of the round. He was outstanding. He really did deserve that. Jared Wallace, he certainly did. He was very good. Very, very good. So, let's have a look at the points table, the Dally M points of the round. Now we have a new leader, clear leader here. I just had to 6 points to Latrell Mitchell. So he leads it by himself. Then got 5 points to Reece Walsh and DCE. Then you go down to 3 points to Mitchell Moses, Cam Munster, John Johnson, Marcelo Montoya, Nico Hines. 2 points Dominic Young, Jacob Caress, Tohu Harris, Toby Turbo, Cody Walker, and Nick Meaney adds to the list. And 3 points for Jared Wallace, of course, so he's in the 3 points. And 1 point here for Harry Grant, the Hammer, Osaka, and Dylan Edwards. So at the moment, Trelmit leads my Dally M points just in front of Reece Walsh and DCE. We will see how the rest of the season goes on who's going to be my player of the year. And we'll make it the team of the year as well. Might be a bit hard if I don't have many forwards, but we will get there. But let's get back to the footy. Yes, it was a very, very good. Let's have, just what's happening at the moment in the footy. Teams that can win the grand final. Going back to 1998, you have to win 4 of your first 8 games to win the comp. And now the Seagulls, Sharks, and Roosters have added their name to the list of the 9 teams. The top 9 teams right at the moment are the teams that can win the comp. They've all got 4 wins. And there's a couple of teams that have a chance of jumping into that list. The only 2 teams that are left are the Titans and the Raiders. They must win their next game to go into this box. Otherwise, sorry for these other teams. So the other teams that aren't in this list, so these 6 teams already can cut their season already. They won't be winning the comp if you believe in history. The Knights, Parramatta, Dragons, Cowboys, Bulldogs, and Tigers. Their season is pretty much over. It doesn't mean they can't make the top 8. Can I see any of them making the top 8? Probably one team could, but to be honest, most likely none of them are going to. But there's always some team that gets on a run, so it's possible. But I'm very, very concerned if you're the fans of those teams. I just don't see it, especially the Tigers, who've just been pathetic all season. Will they even get a win? The way they're going, they can't even beat Manly on the way the Manly played. It was just outstanding. Casualty ward. Well, Tommy Turbo has been picked again to play, even though he pulled up lame. He's looking like he's running on one leg. I'm not sure what's happening. Shot out of a gun. I mean, I don't know what's happening there, and he's still getting picked. Yes, I'm not sure. I think he should be rested, in my opinion, but they continue to play him. But I wanted to have a look at Origin selection if he was not to be picked in the Origin side. How would it go? Who would take his centre spot? Well, most likely it'd be Stephen Crichton or Campbell Graham, I would suggest. Obviously, Tony Staggs and Matt Burton would come into the mix. It's a great dilemma for Fiddler to have. They have all these options to play that role, but on current form, Campbell Graham should get that spot if Tommy Turbo is out, in my opinion. But I don't know if that is going to happen. They're likely to go with Crichton. Oates can't take a trick, injured. Unfortunately, his Origin opportunity's gone. I thought he was in great form, probably deserved to go there, but disappointing. Obviously, Regan Campbell-Gillard's injured, so he's likely out of Origin, but I don't think he was going to get picked anyway, to be honest. How about Roger Tuapasa-Sheck returning to the Warriors in 2024? Will that not be enough for Sean Johnson to maybe go around for another year to try and win a comp? I suggest so. He's one of the top 5 fullbacks in the game, no doubt about it. And when he left, will he continue to be? Being a little bit older, we will find out. There's options. Everyone's saying that maybe he's not going to play fullback, he might play centre. To be honest, I think if he's not going to play fullback, it'll be wing for me. The same with Chance. I think either of them will play wing if they're not going to be playing. I don't think they defend well enough at centre, to be honest. And can both score a try on the wing, I think would be the better option for whoever's not going to be playing fullback. Yes, and it might shore up the defence out wide, which is still an issue for the Warriors right now. Roger could also play 6 if needed, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. And he'd be a ball runner like Joey Manu. Well, let's get to the footy. Yes, what happened? Yes, let's have a look, review the games here. The Rabbitohs literally pulling a rabbit out of the hat and getting up from 18 points down with 5 to go, and somehow with some magic from Latrell, Alex Johnson and Cody Walker come up with unbelievable play and get up and win. Yes, Latrell Mitchell on fire again with 2 tries, 12 points, 100 run meters, 1 line break, 1 line break assist. Cody Walker was also on fire with 2 try assists. The Rabbitohs had a high completion rate, 85%, and the Penrith 82%, and they had to do that, the Rabbitohs, just to win the game. The stats showed Penrith made 70 more tackles, and they still almost won the game. Shows you how good they are. Suggests the Rabbitohs are struggling against good defensive teams like Penrith and Storm. Has been their Achilles heel, but this time they got up. It doesn't matter how you won, they got up and won, showing that they can finally break the hoodoo and maybe win the premiership for you long Rabbitohs fans looking for another victory since 2014. Number 7 is my question mark. Lachlan Ilias is not doing enough, and they're relying on Latrell, Cody and Damien to play good every weekend, which they have to anyway if they are going to win it in September, October. Yes, Hami Sally, he's playing outstanding. Can he stay on the field? He's another one. He seems to be injury prone. If he can stay on the field, then the Rabbitohs could go a long way to winning the comp. Alex Johnson must be wondering, I don't know if he might have scored 1 try this season, that's about it. He's just not scoring the tries that he used to. Damien Cook, I think he needs to do more. He could be running the ball more. It seems to be a lot of people are not running the ball these days in the hooking role at the moment. It's been more of the locks playing the roles of the fullbacks. So it's slightly been changing. More Cameron Smith style instead of running out of the blocks. So that's interesting to see if that continues. 8 missed tackles from Lachlan Ilias, not good enough, and they could be costly in the big game. So Isaiah probably deserves to be man of the match. 188 run meters, 1 tackle break, 27 passes, 45 tackles. He was outstanding. And even Stephen Crichton, he had a mixed bag. 3 tries, 18 points, 181 run meters, 2 line breaks, 6 tackle breaks. But he also on the other side of the table had 6 missed tackles. What's doing? He needs to improve his defence instead of going for the intercept all the time, and that is maybe going to cost him a New South Wales squad pick. Scott Sorensen was a bit quiet for mine, didn't run enough meters. Neither did Lindsay Smith, and Sonny Luke hasn't lived up to what I'd expect from him to be the punch off the bench for the Penrith Panthers. This game was high quality footy and excellent to see both teams. I'd expect to see both teams going deep into the finals in 2023. Let's head off to Friday night football in Darwin, the Eels versus the Broncos. The game went to script for the first 40 minutes, but the second half was a bit of a difference. To be honest, the Broncos look like a superstar team after 40 minutes. By the 80 minutes, the question marks are out. Can they beat the best teams? I know they beat Penrith early in the year, but there's question marks for the Broncos if they can deliver against the best come finals footy. Eels to me are just lacking a little bit of punch, whether that's in Mahoney or they need a bit of strike weapon out wide that they're surely missing. The forward pack is good enough to win a comp, no doubt about it. You've got Sean Lane, Ryan Madison, Bryce Cartwright, Job Hopgood, Junior Paulo, Regan Campbell-Gillard. I mean, it's a very strong team, but they're just not quite clicking. And Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses, they seem to go in and out of games a lot. I'm not sure what's doing there. If we look at some of the stats here, the Broncos 86% completion. Broncos ran for 200 more run meters. 200 more metres kicked as well, 30 less tackles, 5 less errors. Suggests to me they should have won by 50, but they only won by 10. Eels, yes, and obviously need more from Dylan Brown, but he did come up with 2 try assists in a line break, so maybe being a little bit harsh on Dylan Brown. It's definitely one of his better games he's had, but he needs to do this every week. Ryan Madison, in my opinion, probably deserves to make an Origin return. I think he's playing outstanding footy. He's been pretty much the best player on the field every time he's played this season since coming from that suspension. Yes, Regan Campbell-Gillard, the injury concerning, the hip drop continues to rear its ugly head on some players. Mitchell Moses needs to go to another level. And Mike Acevo and all the wingers back lines really need to run more for Parramatta in the modern game. They're not running enough metres, which is proving costly, I think, for the forwards and not delivering. And Josh Hodgson, he's still picked for next week, but I think he'll be close to be getting dropped in the next few weeks. I just don't think he's playing good enough. Brendan Hans has probably surpassed him, and time will tell what happens there. Corey Oates, 224 run metres. Oh, outstanding. With Herbie Frumworth the same, 225 with a try. Contandi Staggs, well, he is just again going into a shell again, in which again will probably make him miss out on Origin selection. Adam Reynolds, if I was going to put a critique on him, he needs to run the ball more, be a bit more than one-dimensional. No, he's going to kick in that. Too simple. If he can run the ball a bit more, then Broncos could be the real deal this season, be more like a Alfie Langer. And why they got Alfie Langer there? He's got to be showing him what to do. Come on, Reynolds. You're capable of more. Let's do it. He's Kirk Capel's been a bit quiet. He'll get, I'm sure he'll get picked for Queensland, but he might be struggling when you got some like David Fafita and that there. Look out for them there. But yeah, this game, the only answer I think I got out of this game is Parramatta are not playing finals footy in 2023. But then again, they look similar to last year and they somehow made it to the grand final, but it's not going to happen this year. Let's go to Saturday Night Football at Acorn Stadium, and really this was a closer than expected, but still a dud game. Bulldogs versus the Sharkies. To be honest, this game didn't live up to the hype. The Bulldogs were okay, but the Sharks were pretty average. 78% completion rate for the Sharks, 75% for the Bulldogs. But let's have a look at the Sharkies here, they fix. Yeah, the Sharks, 300 more run metres. Bulldogs had 15 more missed tackles. The Sharks had 13 errors as well, so that's a mixture. I thought Flanagan had one of his better games. And funnily enough, when we go to the preview, he's been dropped. Yeah, we will see how that one goes. And I thought it was a matter of time before he does get X, and it's already happened. So Carlo Poatu, we'll see how he goes. Matt Burton at 7. Will this be good long term? We will see. Braden Burns was good for the Bulldogs, 163 run metres. He was very, very good. Corey Waddell, he 145 run metres. Tavita Pangai Jr. is playing good footy. Is he a bolter for New South Wales for some punch off the bench? He's playing pretty good football. Jake and Preston was quiet this week. Josh Reynolds, to be honest, I don't know why he's in the team. He's not playing enough minutes and not playing good enough for me to be in the team. But hey, he is there. I think he's a good 18th man. Put him in 18th man. No offence to you, Josh Reynolds, but just not up to the standard that the Bulldogs need. Yes, and Reid Mahoney, not the same player at the moment. On the other side of the thing, 3 tries to Will Kennedy, 1 line break, 2 tackle breaks. Ronald Mataliana, even though with the mistake in the try, he ran for 204 run metres. So yeah, he's in good touch. Nico Hines, 3 line break assists and 2 try assists. He is on fire, and he is going to be number 6 for New South Wales. I think you're dreaming there, Barry, but yes. Nico Hines is absolutely carving up Jerome Luai. Got to be picked. Teague Wilton, Wade Graham, could do a bit more. I mean, no, sorry, Teague Wilton's playing good form. Wade Graham's probably not doing enough, but maybe he doesn't need to. He's there for his experience. I'm not seeing enough from the Sharkies to be a premiership winning team. I'm really not. I don't see anything to shows me that they can win the comp, because their defence is not up to it. The same as last year, the defence is not up to it. And that's what's costing them. They haven't improved their defence in 2023. And even though they can score all these tries, they're going to have to try to be the West Tigers of 2005 or score more tries than anything else to win the comp. It's a possibility, but I think defence is going to cost them in the big games. Let's go to the other Saturday Night Football, and yoo-hoo! The Cowboys get it done in an absolute shocker. Well, they weren't bad, but they just, again, the same as the week before against the Warriors, just struggled to score points. 81% completion rate to a pitiful 68%. Yes, 68%. The Knights and the Cowboys only just won. That's what I'm saying. That's how bad they were. The Cowboys had 200 more run meters. But yeah, interesting. The tackle breaks, so 47 tackle breaks from the Knights compared to 21 of the Cowboys. That was interesting to see. But yeah, as I said, Cowboys are playing very bad on attack and need a lot more on attack if they're going to be any good going forward. Valentine Holmes, he is having an outstanding year. He's probably one of the best players, especially in the last month anyway, playing very good football. Probably deserves some points. He 254 one readers, one line break assist, one try assist. He played very well. So did Josh Rinkwalder with four tackle breaks, 245 run meters, two line break assists, one line break, two try assists. He was outstanding, Scott Drinkwater as well. And they only just won the game. Like, these stats are huge from these two players, and they only just won. Shows you how bad the rest of the team is going. Ruben Cotter's playing good football. Jordan McLean, 129 run meters, he's going well. But some issues happening with Dearden and Townsend. They really need to pretty much look like dead in the headlights at the moment. They really need to go up a level. Even Robson's on down on his best form. But Holmes, he's absolutely flying this year. Nanai is also down on form. I don't know what's happening there. To be honest, on current form, I don't think he makes the team. I think Fafita gets in front of him in the Queensland team, but we will see. But there could be a blowout chance for the top 8 if they can continue to find their old form. But they will be relying on Townsend and Dearden to find their best form. We'll look on the other side. Dane Gagai, 237 run meters, one line break, 3 tackle breaks. He was flying. Ponga was solid on his return, with a try assist and 2 line break assists. Safiti brothers and Frizzell are playing very solid football. Crossan, unfortunately, he's not probably playing good enough footy at number 9. He's defending well, but nothing in attack. And Jack Henryton, probably lucky to be in the team. He's barely playing any minutes at the moment. They need more out of him, and we will see if that continues. The Knights have been gritty, but I wonder if they continue down this round of the next 2 games against the Eels and the Titans. These are games they must win. They have to win both of these if they want to be in the premiership hunt. I don't think they will for top 8 hunt anyway. I think they're out of the premiership hunt. But top 8 hunt, you still have to win those 2 games. If they don't, their season is gone. You can cut them now. If they lose the next 2 games, they are gone. Let's look at Sunday. Yes, we had 2 of the bizarre games of the round. Here, the Titans. Did they land in the Bermuda Triangle with Tommy Turbo? Because the Titans up 26 points to go run down by the Dolphins, 28-26. And the Dolphins have got 5 wins out of 8. Unbelievable. The completion rate was 82% for both, so it was a very high quality game. Here, Titans had more kicking meters, with the Dolphins had more running meters. Titans, though, really should not have lost this game. But they fell asleep in the second half, and defensively was soft by the try line, or even going up the middle. But yeah, obviously Robert Jennings, 2 tries, and then 2 tries bombed. But yeah, very good. The 1-6 of the back line of the Dolphins ran for 130 metres or more. Was outstanding. Jared Wallace, as I said, my player. Around 181 run meters, one line break assist, one try assist. He was outstanding. Tommy Gilbert, 7 missed tackles. Disappointing. Ewan Aiken ran for 200 meters. And for the Titans, well, you look at these stats. Footy Aker, 222 run meters. David Fafita, 192, and Tino Fulham-Wale, 182 meters, and also Philip Sammy, 172, and they lost? What's doing, Titans? Can't defend. Unbelievable. Yes, and AJ Brimson, 192 run meters. Oh, just craziness. You would have thought the Titans won by 30. They should have won by 30, but no, they went to sleep. And to me, Kieran Fora needs to do more on this team. Whether his body's not up to the NRL now, I'm not sure. He's struggling a bit. We'll see if we... But let's be fair, dinkum. Are we not giving enough credit to the Dolphins? Are they going to be in the top 8 in 2023? I keep saying no. But they're going to get a bit of a test against the top teams coming up, and this will test how good they're going to be going forward for the... But let's get to Campbelltown Stadium, where Manly didn't get off the bus in the second half, at least anyway, till right to the very end. But they got a win, 22 points to 16 over the Tigers. The Tigers should have won this game. Tigers had 58% possession, 800 more run meters. Surprisingly, Manly had more kicking meters, but that's how good Cherry Evans is. 17 errors from Manly. Like, this is Manly. 10 more missed tackles than the Tigers, and they won. What is happening? The Tigers absolutely got nothing, and they still didn't pick Dane Laurie at 6. They got him on the bench. Nofaluma returns, but still, to me, Luke Brooks gone. I don't know. He's actually not playing super bad, to be honest, Luke Brooks. But got to look at the future, mate. But yes, Buller, outstanding on debut, 177 run meters, very much in the Auckland James Tedesco type player. So be interesting to see how they continue. Stafford Toa was great, one line break assist, and one try assist. He was outstanding. Luke Brooks, as I said, probably had his best game this year. Wakeham, though, not the answer for me at 6. And after the fight in the sheds with Josh Alloway, I don't know what's happening there. With apparently Finu spitting at Brandon Wakeham. If he really thought there was a big issue, why didn't he just make a complaint on the field? But no, didn't want to. So I don't know. Was he lying? I'm not sure what's happening with Josh Alloway. Apparently they were going to get into a punch-up. Well, maybe they should have. No fighting attended their kids. But yes. Jason Sub played well. Ola Kawatu was solid. Cherry Evans, 2 line breaks, 2 try assists. I mean, he's not doing too bad. Josh Schuster, though, I'm not sure what's happening there. He was very quiet, and he really needs to do more. Croker needs to run the ball more. And Jake Chibroyevich, again, needs to lead by example. We're not the greatest in attack lately. Basically, if you look at the stacks, the Tigers should have won. Absolutely should have won. But Cherry Evans, 564 kicking meters. He controlled the game well. And I'll tell you what, if Cherry Evans was in the team, the Tigers would have won by 30. I really think that Tigers are in disarray big time. Let's go to Anzac Day. Yes, indeed. The Roosters absolutely sneak home. 27 points to 26 after leading 26 points to 12. What's doing the Roosters? I don't think it's the year of the Rooster. They're just playing up and down like a yo-yo at the moment. The Dragons with 76% completion rate, and this is the problem with the Roosters a lot of the season, 72% completion rate. They're just dropping the ball too much. Dragons had slightly more possession. They made 80 more tackles, the Dragons. There was 80 missed tackles from both teams in total. It's not NRL standard. Victor Radley, I think he might be going to Super League soon if he continues to get suspended. Controversy if it was a head knock or a shoulder to the head controversy, but to me, the way he's going, he's going to get wiped out of the NRL and he might end up in this Super League. James Tedesco, 236 run meters. To me, he was the best player on the field, not Luke Keary. 7 tackle breaks. I mean, come on, this is Tedesco. He's on fire. Brandon Smith had his best game in the Roosters jump, 165 run meters. Lindsay Collins, 140 metres. Suaaliki, he was very disappointing defensively. I can't pick him in Origin. I can't see him being in the Origin team, but hey, who knows? Jerry Money, he was solid, but I can see it working long term here. I still think Sam Walker would be picked in front of Luke Keary if it was my decision. But it'll be interesting to see how that develops. With, again, Sam Walker not playing next week, more than likely. I'm not convinced though that they can win the comp. I think they'll make the top 8, the Roosters, but you never know, they might find form. They can find form early, you never know. They've got players to win the comp, but they're just not showing, and we're going to see against the Warriors how good they actually are. Moses Sully, 150 run meters, he played well. The forward pack let them down, the Dragons, for mine. Hardly any of them ran over 100 meters. Very much a disappointing game to me. The Dragons are just, they're playing all right, but they're just not getting it done. It's only a matter of time before Anthony Griffin is let go. The final game, Anzac game, I think it was the game of the round. I really do, and I really think Warriors fans should get excited that their team is going to be in the top 8 in 2023. Yes, they lost the game. I have concerns about injuries though. They've got quite a few injuries now, and long-term injuries. That is the question mark for the Warriors. Can their depth of players, because when you look at the 22-man squad, or even the 17 squad, they probably got 15 players that you say, yes, they're very good. And then you're going, oh, what's happening here with some of the bench players? That's my concern for the Warriors going forward, and injuries might cost them making the top 8 if there is going to be something that's going to cost them, but they are playing very good footy. But to be honest, the difference in this game was the injuries obviously really got to the Warriors in the end with the head knocks and everything. Nickel Clocks, they're going down. Tohu Harris, Jazz Tavanga, Bailey Saron, and Dylan Walker nearly went off as well. And saying that, they only lost 30 points to 22. Nick Meaney was the difference at 2 tries, 18 points, 218 run meters, one line break assist. He was good. Cameron Munster, he was very good, doing some big runs, hard meters, and scoring that try to really got the momentum to change. Justin Wallen put in a big hit. He ran some good meters. Harry Grant was solid as well. Christian Welsh as well. And Nelson NSA, he was absolutely outstanding for the Warriors, and he had just re-signed, so that's good stuff for the Storm. The Warriors were brave in defeat. Fanua Blake had his best game all season, 170 run meters. Niokore played his best game for the Warriors in 2023. About time. People were saying he was playing good, but he really played good in this game. Bunty Afo was solid. Johnson had a very good kicking game. He really, really kicked well, but he didn't really run the ball, and I think that was costly for the Warriors, and that's something they're going to have to work on. The Warriors, I think, are reeling that they didn't pick Wade Egan. I think if Wade Egan played, they probably would have won. Freddie Luskin's not the same level, unfortunately, but it's good to see Wade Egan will be back for next round. Andrew Webster, there's a little bit of it was a tough game. Can they bounce back and win at home? We will get to that shortly. But overall, Warriors 89% completion rate, and they didn't win the game. Storm 84 completion rate. That's why, this was top quality footy. End to end, grind to grind. It was a grand final type game. And I think the defense would have been a little bit better if the injuries went there for the Warriors. To me, on what I've seen, the Warriors still got to work on some stuff. Whether they can win the comp might be a bridge too far, but they should make the top 8. If they don't make the top 8, it'll be a disappointing season for the Warriors on what they've shown to start the first quarter of the first third of the season. They really do need to get a couple more wins. If they start losing a few more games, they have got a tough road again. If they can beat the Roosters next week, then I think Warriors fans can celebrate and get excited about footy. But if they start losing and they lose another one, the pressure might get to them. It has gotten to them before. Let's hope not for you Warriors fans out there. But now we better have a look at the preview of round 9. Yes, round 9 preview. Who is going to do it? Who's the teams? It's only going to be a short preview. this round, folks. But let's have a look anyway at the games. First off, it's the Cowboys versus the Sharks. Sharks at home with this one. Cowboys finally got back on track of the Sharks. Have been very patchy. But clearly on current form, I think the Sharks will get home and win by 12 points. Nico Hines, I think, will be the difference there. Mulatano, Will Kennedy, Teague Wilson, Niokora, they're all in form. The Cowboys, their best chance of winning this game is Chad Townsend and Tommy Dearden come back, because a lot of the rest of the team are playing good football, and Nanai as well. They really need to step up, because Holmes and Drinkwater are doing their job, but they need a bit more out of the other players. Mulatano to score a try. Eels versus the Knights. Yes, very interesting game. Both teams desperately need a win. A loss and their season is probably over. I feel the Eels will get it done though, and I've gone for them by 6 points. And I go for Zero to score the try. But the concern is the defense though for Parramatta out wide. They could do with a good signing there. Madison, Lane, Cartwright, they're all playing great football. Junior Paulo, no Campbell Gillard this week, going to be interesting. The Knights, obviously, Kalen Ponga's had an extra game to get himself back in. Vassell and the Safidi brothers are playing good football. Lachlan Fitzgibbon, Thompson, they're playing pretty good football, the Knights, but they need to win. This is a big game for both teams, and whoever wins this game has a chance to boost their chances of making the top 8. The loser, to me, their top 8 season is probably nearly already over. Moses needs a big game. So we'll see if the Eels get it done on this one. The Knights have been playing grinding football and not getting the win. They have to get a win. Broncos. They get their first big chance against a big team since the Panthers. But Payne Haas is out. Can Keenan Palasi deliver for them? As well as Fletcher, Ricky, Tapo have to go up a level with Payne Haas out. The Rabbitohs will have a similar team to last week. They will have the boost of beating the Panthers, and they should be really fired up for this game. But in saying all that, I have still going to go for the Broncos by 6 points. I'm not picking the Rabbitohs again. I think Adam Reynolds is going to steer the ship home. Jock Madden for Ezra Mam, I don't think there's going to be much of a loss there. The Rabbitohs obviously made a statement last week. They can make another statement here against the Broncos away. It's going to be interesting, but I'm going to say the Broncos will get it done with Reece Walsh to score the try. Well, Saturday night football, Raiders versus the Dolphins. And yes, Jack Wighton has signed with the Rabbitohs. Yes, was it the right move? You betcha. I'm surprised that a few other teams like the Sharks and Roosters didn't have a go for Jack Wighton, or maybe they did and just thought they didn't have enough money. But Jack Wighton going to the Rabbitohs, I think they're just probably 1 or 2 signings away from saying they can win the premiership. What are they missing? I think they could do with probably the two things they need is another decent prop in the second row. I think those are the 2 positions I'll be looking at. Don't know how, even if they can find someone, young players, something they just need to find a little bit more to come off the bench or starting one to bounce off. I think that's just what they need. If they can find something there, they could be the real deal. And they could be the real deal this year anyway, the Rabbitohs. But Jack Wighton, to me, Raiders are just poo-pooing. It's only, a few $100,000 a year difference. I mean, it's just craziness. Jack Wighton wants to sign with the Rabbitohs. Good on him. This is an interesting game. Raiders have to win this game if they want to be a premiership hope. 4 wins out of their first 8 games. They need to win this for that to happen. Otherwise, their season is nearly over. Here, and the Dolphins, obviously, flying at the moment. They really are flying, and they really are putting the competition alight here. But I honestly think the Dolphins, even though they've been composed and everything, I think they could get blown out by a team. It probably won't be the Raiders, but the Raiders are normally a good high completion team too, and I think they're going to really put some pressure on the Dolphins' attack, and I think they'll win it with defense here. I feel that Horsburgh, Young, Whitehead are going to get on top of the pack, and I think that's where it's going to be won. Even though Wayne Bennett can work some magic again, I just think the Raiders are going to get this one done. Seagulls versus Titans, which, yeah, this is an interesting game because you cannot be convinced with Manly, but they are at home. But Fafita, Tino, Futuaka, all three of them could easily be in the Queensland team. They are playing brilliant football, but defensively, they're letting them down, the Titans. Manly, well, they have picked, for some reason, Manly have picked Tommy Turbo. I don't know why he's still picked, but anyway. And I think even if he's not there, I think they're going to get Manly by 12 points. For me, Garrick to score a try. Panthers versus the West Tigers. I can see a Panthers massacre. Can they win by 50 points? I'm not sure about that, but I can see an absolute massacre. Yes. Dane Laurie, I would put him in at 6, but I don't think that's going to happen. Buller having another game, good on him. Good to see him have another game. Nofaluma is back in the side. Yes, I think the Panthers are going to win by 30 points. And I'll go for Toho to score a try. Papali'i, he's playing good football. And he's finally got back to more of his best. But I just can't see it. Penrith will win this one. The Warriors versus the Roosters. This is going to be a big game. The Roosters, you'd expect, should win this game. If you're really going on things here. But I have to go for the Warriors. I have to say, the Warriors, even without Jazz Tavanga, no Tohu Harris, they need to, no Clickle Clocks there, they need to make a statement here and say, this is our house, we can win the comp. They can beat the Roosters, they are on their way to finals footy. I've gone the Warriors by 7 points, but no great confidence because it's a very good team here. You've got Hargraves, you've got Tupanua, Angus Crichton on the bench, compared to Tommy Ale and a few others, Viliami on the bench. I mean, it's just not quite clicking there for the Warriors, and I could be a little bit worried about the bench rotation for the Warriors this week, which could come back to bite them. But I just have to go with that one. And the final game of the round, SARME. So who am I going to go score a try? Let's go with Sean Johnson. The final game of the round, to me, this is a bit of a joke of a game, but the Dragons on form have to win by 12 points or more. I just think they really should win. Kyle Flanagan's been dropped. Probably might have played his last game as he came to the Super League. Jack Bird was playing some good football. But yeah, really, I can only see one way, and the Dragons winning this game. So that's my tips for round 9. Thank you for watching the Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video all around the world. And I'll be back next week.